Hi there, everybody. It's me, Crystal, the insurance broker, back again for another webinar in regards to, guess what? Health insurance uncovered. Of course, this is a longer story piece that I'm constantly doing during this annual enrollment period for over 65 and the Affordable Care Act marketplace open enrollment season, which has started about maybe 3 or 4 days ago. Okay. So let's get started. I hope everyone's doing well out there. That if you had any questions that you would ask them during the viewing. So let's share my topic. As always, is going to be health insurance uncovered. There you go. It's going to be health insurance uncovered. All of your um, questions answered about what to think, what to do during this open enrollment season, especially given that there was a little bit of issue with SNAP benefits. They still haven't made any notices about the Affordable Care Act and the subsidies that would be passing or not passing. It's still kind of up there in the market. So these are all of your questions answered right now. Okay. So a little bit about me, my background info. I was a previous school teacher in South Korea for at least about 8 or 10 years off and on. And now I've become a licensed broker for 25 states, the 25 states that you can see right over there. I have my AHIP certification for about 4 years. What the AHIP certification does is that I'm allowed to talk to people over the age of 65 about their Medicare Advantage, their standalone prescription drug plans, and help them in that regards. And I also have my marketplace certification. I've had my marketplace certification for about 3 years. So I can talk to younger people closer to my age or a little bit younger than me or a little bit older than me about the ACA marketplace, especially what's happening right now. And I am contracted with multiple national carriers. Okay. Now, please keep in mind that everything that I'm going to say to you on this presentation is educational only. It's educational only, so it's very general. If you're looking to get a appointment with me because you want to speak more about your particular problem, it would be a good idea to book an appointment with me. Later. That QR code is later. But if you wanted to help me and my channel, just definitely buy me a coffee. It just helps me continue to help others. Now, keep in mind, this is an educational event, so you don't have to, but it would be greatly, 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 greatly appreciated. So let's move forward. So the basic info, what do you need to know like right now? No fuss, no muss, right? If you're over the age of 65 and have a Medicare Advantage policy, now until December 7th is the annual enrollment period. So you want to talk to your current insurance agent or broker and figure out what is up with you. Check on your policy, make sure that it's the right policy for you. Now is the time to do it, because I think you only have about maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a month left before the season's over. So if you need to check on your policy right now, talk to your agent or broker and just get right onto it. And like I said, you want to check on your insurance policies with your insurance agent to make sure that you're on the right policy for 2026. This is necessary. This is necessary given that 2026 is very volatile for the Medicare and ACA space. Now, if you're under the age of 65 and you have an ACA policy, November 1st through December 15th is the open enrollment period. And for you guys, especially given that the subsidies are kind of still up in the air, uh, the Congress has not decided whether or not to extend the subsidies or not. You really should be talking to your agent or broker right now to see how they can lower your cost or diversify your risk, right? Because you don't know if you're going to get the subsidies or not. So it's a good idea for your insurance agent or broker to minimize that risk for you and for your family, okay? And you also want to check to see if you do get a ACA policy, if it is the right policy for you for 2026 or if you have to switch, okay? So the great window. I always tend to think that I'm speaking to a collective that's a little bit younger. So I'm going to go with the first one. Why should you check your ACA policy every year? How to lower copays, okay? Because this matters right now because the ACA subsidies have not been decided upon on Capitol Hill. So why should you check for your ACA policy every year? Well, to be honest with you, the premiums could have gone up. The summary of benefits could be different. Your policy could have changed without your consent. Your policy could have been discontinued. So all of these points are really, really, really important. Like the change in subsidy is number one. I think all of us know now that there is going to be a change in subsidy getting into 2026. And with that change of subsidy, there also could be different things that are being covered under ACA policies are that that are covered or weren't covered in 2025 or vice versa. You may have had something currently right now that is covered in 2026, but you won't have that. I mean, in 2025, but you won't have that in 2026. So the summary of benefits could be extremely different. So you want to look at that. Your policy may have been changed without your consent. We've seen this year with some social security numbers being used that CMS alerted us to, So definitely you want to check your policy anyway, just to make sure that your policy is still your policy and that you didn't find yourself in any sort of funny business. And also your policy could have been discontinued. There have been a lot of shrinking and a little bit of shrinking of areas within the marketplace. So you may be in a zip code that may not offer the insurance policy that you're currently on right now, and you may need to switch into something else that is within your service area. Okay. Now, how to lower your deductibles and copays. Biggest one, because if you are kind of in that mix, you don't know what you're going to do about the subsidies, and you are talking with a licensed agent or broker, you want to definitely diversify your risk, right? And how to do that, right? Consider getting a fixed indemnity policy, which covers copays and co-insurances for hospital, surgery, and doctor's appointments. This is the biggest one. Not a lot of people know about the indemnity policies. As a recap, indemnity policies pay you. They don't pay the clinic, they don't pay the hospital, they pay you. So if you need to use your indemnity policy, let's say if you have one, then you would call the insurance carrier and say, hey, I need to make a claim. They will give you a claim form. You will fill out that claim form. You would ask the clinic or the hospital to give you a itemized bill of everything that they're going to do. You tack that on to your claim form, and then you hand that to the insurance carrier that has your indemnity policy. And then they will give you the income, um, plus or minus, depending on how you have set up your insurance product or your insurance package through your agent or broker. But that insurance company would then pay you however much it is that they have to pay you, and then you use those funds to pay for your services at the clinic, at the urgent care, at the hospital, etc. Okay, that's an indemnity policy. Now, fixed indemnity policies have a longer range of what they cover for versus hospital indemnity policy. You can hear it. Hospital indemnity policies only cover for hospitals. They do, depending on the carrier and depending on the summary of benefits brochure, they may do some things as well to cover, but typically hospital indemnity covers inpatient, outpatient copays, ambulance, maybe some doctors, but the main one is inpatient, outpatient. But fixed indemnities can go even further. They can cover prescriptions, and they also can cover doctors at more times. So you definitely want to talk to your insurance agent or broker for that. Okay. If you work in specific industries like construction, electrical, HVAC, you want to consider getting accident insurance. You definitely, out of all the times, be stuck in an accident in this socioeconomic climate. Okay. Wait 1 second. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. It was about something serious. If you haven't noticed why I put my house a little bit cat corner, it was because my house got flooded on. Oh no, my house got flooded on. So I have to use homeowners insurance to get my house fixed. And I was just checking to see if that was the homeowners insurance company to help me about my claim, but I don't know. I'll have to see. Okay. So let on. So keep in mind that some ACA policies have high deductibles around 1,000 or more. So try to either enroll in a policy that negates your deductible at a slightly higher premium. I actually did do a little bit of work on the marketplace side and certain zip codes, and I'm actually seeing that if you do play around with the metal levels, you can get a fairly decent policy at maybe a $0 deductible, right? You do want to check with your insurance agent or a broker to see what other things are within that summary of benefits. But yeah, it at a higher premium? It is. Sometimes you can find some that are not at a higher premium, but it has a higher deductible. So you definitely want to speak to someone and change the metal levels to see what works for you, okay? So the next one, uh, wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. That might be me. Hey there, guys. I'm back. Whew. Let's see if I can get this turned back on. Woo! That was a lot. So sorry. So kept away from you all because guess what? Whew. I had some delivery meals come in for me, but they couldn't get into my house, so I had to go all the way downstairs to get my food. Believe it or not. Okay. So now where were we? If I'm talking to a younger crowd that may have ACA and they may be under Medicaid or under SNAP, SNAP just been partially funded again, I know, but it's still going to be some delays before you might get your SNAP benefits. So how to protect yourself from a loss of Medicaid if it happens? Okay. So what can you do if you lose your state Medicaid? Okay. Well, if you're over the age of 65, this is what you would do. If you have a Medicare Advantage dual special needs plan, you may want to opt for a Medicare Advantage Part B give back plan. It would keep your Medicare Part B premium costs down, which is great. Typically, the reduction is around like $125 up to $184.70 in some service areas. So you definitely want to check with your insurance agent or broker if that is you. Yeah. At the same time, you can use whatever that income that you save from your Medicare Part B premium to get a hospital indemnity policy so that it can lower your co-pays and co-insurances. Just like what I talked to you about before, about the indemnity policies, how the insurance carrier pays you and then you pay for the difference in your care. Hospital indemnity should be one of the items that you should be considering checking into with your insurance agent or a broker. And if you're under the age of 65 and you lose your state Medicaid, you can go into a fixed indemnity policy. Six fixed indemnity policies, like I said, it covers a lot more things than the hospital indemnity policy. So if you're under the age of 65 and you lose your state Medicaid, then the indemnity policies would be a good idea for you to look at as well. But if income issue, right? Like you can't necessarily afford around, I would say like $50 or $60 a month, then there are other products that you could look into, like membership savings cards or health savings accounts. So those would be like around like $20 or up to $25. Okay. So just keep in mind, like if you have like any sort of food insecurity and you're over the age of 60, definitely do apply for the commodity supplemental food program. The QR code is right over on the right hand side of my screen. You definitely do want to apply for the commodity supplemental food program. It's there for you. Just scan the QR code and get some food in your home in pretty soon. So definitely do that. It is a governmental program. It is for people who are over the age of 60 and they need food help. So if you don't have any food and you need to get food, then definitely scan the QR code so that you can take care of that immediately. Okay. So now let's move on. So to Part C changes in 2026 and how to get prescription drug help. So this is dealing with people who have that are over the age of 65 and have Medicare and might have a Medicare Advantage or standalone prescription drug plan, or even Medigap, because Medigap is also there as well, right? But specifically, if you have Medicare Advantage, what's changing in 2026 is area shrinkage. There are just not a lot of policies that are being offered in different service areas. Lessening Part B reduction parts policies. There are Part B give back policies in zip codes across the states, but they're small in number. So if I were to be looking up your particular situation by chance, I may see maybe one or two the policies that are Part B reduction when in the past it used to be maybe three or even four. So the amount of Part B reduction policies that are in a service area has decreased. Medical deductibles have increased. And this year in 2025, they used to be if you had a medical deductible on your policy, it was maybe around 375 minimum, right? But now I'm starting to see them for like 500 standard medical deductible or like 700 deductible. I'm starting also to see like some zip codes, maybe a $200 deductible. So in some zip codes, it's actually less, but overall general, it's a little bit higher than what it was in 2025. Well, now, in fact, for annual enrollment period. Low dental benefits in 2026. In 2025, I was seeing a lot of comprehensive dental coverages of around 2,000 on average. And now comprehensive coverage for dental is max 1,500. Most of what I'm seeing in the states in which I work in and those service areas is just preventative dental. So if you need to do things with your teeth, like if you need to get periodontal maintenance, if you need to do extractions, fillings, crowns, bridges, if you need to get dentures, or if you want to do dental implants, then it's a good idea to get a standalone dental policy. But you should talk about that with your agent or broker. Okay. Not a lot of non-routine transportation. I used to see this a lot. I would say in 2024, and then in 2025 it was reduced, and I'm seeing more reductions getting into 2026. So if you need non-routine transportation as well as food and you're over the age of 60, I would say go to your local um, senior center. There's a senior center in almost every county. So just type on Google where's your local senior center and definitely reach out to them because they typically handle non-routine transportation and food like Meals on Wheels and other things to support the elderly in their community. And also not a lot of over-the-counter benefits getting into the 2026. Let's see. I'm just checking, just doing like a quick glance because I've been working in the space since it is open season. I think that there's some service areas where there's still over the counter being offered, but not as a whole across the states. Definitely not as a whole. So what do you do to protect yourself from these particular type of changes? Biggest one is that you want to speak to your current insurance agent for any updates regarding your plan. Keep in mind, like literally, like keep in mind that it is open enrollment right now for Medicare Advantage and Medicare standalone prescription drug plans. So if you want to check on your policy and make sure that it's in line with your budget, definitely speak to your insurance agent for that. You definitely want to check to make sure that it meets your needs in 2026. And if you are needing those dental work and that dental coverage, do consider getting a standalone dental policy if your individual plan doesn't offer dental coverage. And like I said before, you want to use senior centers to gain access to food help, non routine transportation, and other social services for seniors. And like I said before, if you're hungry and you're over the age of 60, do consider applying for the commodity supplemental food program. The QR code is on the right. You just scan it and it will take you directly to that application so that you can apply. Okay. So, where to go to get prescription drug help? Well, you want to apply for the Federal Extra Help Social Security website. If you don't have a way of hyper clicking on that in my um, webinar, you want to then click on it here on the right for Federal Extra Help. Okay. So if you scan that QR code, that will take you directly to the Social Security Federal Extra Help website, and you can put in an application at no cost to you. Okay. Likewise, if you are still having problems with some insurance, with some prescription drug cost, then I would say you can use GoodRx, but there's also another prescription drug option called Clever RX. So you can use either or to see which one would give you more benefits and more of a reduction to see if that would work for you. So if you have really expensive prescription drugs right now, I would say just use either one of those. Clever RX or GoodRx to see how much your prescriptions can be reduced. Okay. And you also want to ask your doctor for prescription manufacturer's coupons. If you go to see your doctor, you can ask them for manufacturer's coupons as well as a formulary exception on your prescription. Because sometimes you may be seeing at a really expensive prescription because it's not in your plan's formulary. And if that specific prescription is not in your plan's formulary, your doctor can make a formulary exception on your behalf so that you can get that prescription drug at a lesser price point. Okay. So those are your options there. So use CleverRx, GoodRx, CleverRx, GoodRx, and you can also use the Federal Extra Help if you're over the age of 65 and you are now getting Medicare to help lower your prescription drug cost. And you can definitely take advantage of that today. Okay. So where's all the dental gone? Like I said before, we were in like 2026, we're starting to see a reduction in dental coverage. So for Medicare Advantage policies, vision and hearing coverage is still there, but dental has taken a drastic hit in 2026. If you are on a Medicare Advantage policy and you need comprehensive dental coverage, it's a good idea to get standalone dental policy. Standalone dental policies cover dental implants. They do. You definitely want to check with your agent and broker to see at what percentage that it covers, but it does cover. For ACA policies, you want to consider getting dental, vision, and hearing coverage as well because your main policy may not offer those coverages when you look on the marketplace. So if you are needing things to happen with your teeth, whether you're over the age of 65 or under the age of 65, you want to definitely check with standalone dental policies to see if that works for you. So you would have to talk to your agent or broker to see about that. Okay. And now let's get into why are you being called? What is the TCPA Act? What is the scope of appointment, etc.? Well, why are you being called for insurance all the darn time? Ay, ay, ay. So you're most likely being called by call centers due to either clicking on an advertisement and or filling out a form to contact later from one advertisement. The place where you filled out the form shared your information with their affiliates, in which that affiliate shared your information with their affiliates. Is it legal? Yeah, it is. It's totally legal. In earlier this year, they had passed CMS passed the 1-to-1 rule, which was if you were to fill out a lead form, you would have to fill out a lead form for that agent or for that broker. But that decision was reversed in August, I think, of this year. I think is when they finally had reversed that. It was supposed to take into effect in April, but it didn't. So it's back to the regular TCPA um, um, restrictions. Okay. Also, when you go on websites, they will specifically ask about your privacy and agreement data. Let me just hit on the third topic. If you are do not call and you put your phone number on do not call and then you fill out a form, yeah, yeah, that agency, that broker has a right to call you for at least 3 months before not calling you after that. Okay. And on the websites nowadays, they also give you this privacy notification like, we care about your privacy, or take control of your privacy. When you see that pop up on your phone or on the computer, if you click accept all, then that's how your data is being taken as well. And yeah, it's definitely there because you've accepted the privacy policy as is. So what is the TCPA Act? The general information on the TCPA Act is a person cannot call before 8 a.m. and after 9 p.m. your local time. If they call any time outside of that scheduled time, they will get in a lot of trouble. They would get in a lot of trouble. If you list your phone number as a do not call, they cannot call you. Now, obviously, there's a caveat to that, because if you filled out a lead form with that number listed as do not call, then that agent or broker or company has the right to call you for at least 3 months before afterwards not being able to call you after. Okay. You can't be robo dialed or given automatic messages. So, what are licensed agents supposed to do? Like, what are we supposed to do? What's our stake in it? How do you know that the person that you're getting on the end of the phone is licensed, right? Licensed agents are supposed to state their name, title, and that the call is being recorded, and a third-party marketing disclaimer if you're over the age of 65, which is as follows. Please keep in mind that as a licensed Medicare insurance agent, I do not offer every plan available in your area. Currently, I represent XX organizations, which offers XX products in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov, 1-800-Medicare, or your local state health insurance program to get information on all of your options. We have to say all of this within 1 minute, or else there's a problem. So if they're licensed and if they're certified, they would know this. And this is what you would be hearing on the other end of the phone if you happen to get one of us, right? They are supposed to state the scope of appointment to you, a CMS agreement if you're younger. Nowadays it's digital as well because we're entering into the digital age. So if you hear it, then great, because we are supposed to say it. If you see it and then you sign it, that's great, because you were supposed to see it and sign it as well. If you agree to the scope of appointment or CMS agreement, they have to obtain your Medicare ID number or Social Security number in order to complete the enrollments. That's something that they have to get as an agent or a broker. We can't write any application on your behalf if we don't have your Medicare ID or your Social Security number. And also, if you're getting something like additional, like dental or something else, they're required, like me, to get your credit debit card information or your banking and routing number to finalize the purchase of that policy. These are all things that we have to have as agents and brokers in order to facilitate you in what you need. If you don't give us this information, we can't do our job. Um, and that's just word. It's just 100%. So what is the scope of appointment and or CMS agreement? What do we have to say if you happen to get us over the phone? Well, the scope of appointment and CMS agreement needed to write additional products or ACA policies are agreements where the agents disclose what will be discussed during a sales meeting or what will be completed during a sales meeting under a CMS agreement, what their roles are in the meeting, and how you don't have to agree to the scope of appointment or CMS agreement. What this great form does in either side, over 65 or under 65, it just gives us the authorization to, one, look you up in the federal database. Um, if you're over the age of 65, it would be under the database called Marks. And if you're under the age of 65, it would just be through Health Sherpa. To see what your current policies are, do a review with you, a thorough needs analysis about what you might need um, in this year, and then have that information to close out your major policies, right? Whether it's a Medicare Advantage, if you're under a Medicare Supplement, that yes, even under a Medicare Supplement, yes, we would still need your Medicare ID number. For the standalone prescription drug plan policies, we would need your Medicare ID number, and then on the other side, with the Affordable Care Act or any ancillary products, we would need your social. So in order to close you out on these policies, we would need that information to finalize the application. And these agreements are necessary before any health insurance sale is completed. If we don't get a confirmation on that, we are not allowed to talk to you about um anything carrier related, right? So if you were to ask us, like, hey, what is your opinion about XX policy or XXX policy? We are not at liberty to tell because we are under contracts with those carriers. With and then also it's just a violation of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. So if you want us to tell you, you have to sign the scope of appointment and or CMS agreement for us to be like, yeah, it's this, or yeah, it's this and this, and tell you the real tea. But if you don't sign that information, then we can't legally and lawfully tell you how to better protect yourself. I know. I know. So what is final expense and who is accepted? Okay. So what are final expense and what are the benefits? Okay. Final expense is the life insurance policy which offers a funeral coverage while being able to offer cash value to the policyholder. It offers financial relief, protects families from high funeral and burial costs, easy to qualify, no medical exam required, simplifying approval for seniors or those with health issues. Guarantee coverage. Premiums are fixed and coverage is lifetime as long as the payments are being made. And flexible payout. Funds go directly to the beneficiary and can be used for any final expense, medical bills, debt, or funeral. Peace of mind provides immediate cash to loved ones when they need it the most. The other thing that's really good about a final expense policy that no one really honestly tells you is the fact that it's a lower cost permanent life insurance. Um, and with the permanent life insurance policies like whole or universal life, you earn cash value, interest, dividends for every year that you keep the policy in force. So if you have at least 3 years or more of your policy being in force, you have that amount of cash value in your policy that you can borrow against the death benefit for like anything major. I had to do that. I had to do that with a company called State Farm, which I had when I was at least 30, and I was able to borrow like close to 3,000 against my death benefit for like business related expenses, etc. So it's a good thing to have. And no, the cash value loans, you don't have to have a credit check, and no, you don't have your income verified as you would with a typical bank loan, right? But you have to let the money accrue for at least 3 years before you can check on it. Okay. And that's something that you can discuss with your agent or broker as well. So, so thank you. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been one of the series, of a multiple bits of series that I'm constantly doing this AEP, this OEP for over 65 and under 65 to tell you a little bit more about what is being offered and how you can get that type of services, right? So, like I said before, to help support my business by buy me a coffee. You don't have to if you don't want to, because this is an educational event. So please understand that if you don't have to, you don't want to, but it would help me and my business and help service the clients that I already have, as well as service the future clients that I will be getting in the future. So any bit helps. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. If you have any general questions, ask me now. Keep in mind that the general questions, have to be only very general. It cannot be carrier specific at all. Okay. So I will just check to see if there's um, anything that's showing here. Checking, checking. Okay. So I didn't see anything, so I will say that it's not there. So if you want to talk about other specific things, you can scan that QR code down into the bottom right-hand corner of the presentation. That is the actual code to get in contact with me if you need to. Okay. So you can just take your phone, scan that QR code, and then you would be able to reach me. No problems. No problems at all. If you have any specific questions that you may want to ask me that are specifically carrier specific, whatever it could be. Okay. So just as a quick review, let's go in and redo. So if you want to find me on Facebook, definitely scan that QR code there. That will take you directly to my Facebook page, so that you can see what I do, what I offer, who am I, etc. Um, if you're looking to apply for the commodity supplemental food program, you can do this here. Keep in mind that you have to be over the age of 60 in order to apply, okay? So if you want to check there, definitely uh, scan that so that you can get that savings and food for you. If you need to lower your prescription drug cost and you're getting Medicare Part A and B and on Part D, then you definitely want to scan that QR code and it will take you to the Social Security Administration's Federal Extra Help Program landing page where you can fill out an application to get lower prescription drugs. There isn't a cost to apply. I just want you to know there isn't a cost to apply. It is a service that is there for you to use. Likewise, if you aren't on the federal extra help program and you find that your prescription drugs are getting a little bit expensive, you want to scan this code and it will take you to Clever RX, which has their own membership savings card. It will take you to that card. You can use that in Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Publix, if if at all possible, as well as all other places. And it says here that they have discounts on over 55,000 FDA approved medications. So if you are looking to try to save more of your costs in prescription drugs and you're not on federal extra help and it's just getting really expensive, you want to scan that QR code to get their membership savings card so that you can start saving to get today. So that you can start saving today. And if you need to see what's out there on ACA, you can scan this QR code and it will take you to the Health Sherpa website so that you can make uh, that informed health decisions without a broker. If you want that, though, for a broker to help you, definitely get in contact with an agent or a broker so that they can help you. But if you want to check to see what's available in your area, you can scan this QR code just to see. Okay. And likewise, if you're over the age of 65 and you're on a Medicare Advantage policy already and you want to see what's available in your area, you can also scan this QR code just to see just to see what is in your area. Obviously, you would have to talk to a licensed agent or a broker to continue if you find something that you want. But that's something that is available for you and you don't have to necessarily deal with anyone at the moment. Okay. For you guys, it's different because you would have to get in contact with a licensed agent or broker to close what you're looking to enroll in. For the health Sherpa people under ACA, you don't need it. If you do need it, then that's great. If you need to talk to an agent, okay, but it isn't necessary. But on your side of the fence, if you find something, yeah, it is necessary for you to get in contact with an agent or a broker there that can help you. And that is it. It was such a lovely, lovely, lovely time seeing all of you. I'm glad that I was able to do another webinar with you. I'll be doing another webinar on Saturday at and around the same time. So definitely be taking a look for these. If you follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on YouTube at Crystal the Insurance Broker, then you'll be able to look at these webinars as they come up. But yeah, that's it. It was a pleasure seeing you. Definitely. It was a pleasure seeing all of you. If you want to help me out, buy me a coffee, that's great. And if you want to follow me on Facebook for more, that's great too. It was nice seeing you, and I hope to see you all again later. Talk to you soon. Bye.